You ever think you've seen the worst in people, until love shows you even worse? Until the people you thought would stand beside you on the most important day of your life turn into strangers? This story isn't just about a wedding, it's about truth, betrayal, and a surprise so powerful it shut a whole family up in seconds. It starts in a small town in Georgia, where 26-year-old Emily Morgan was about to marry the love of her life, Marcus Bell, a kind, intelligent, and hardworking black man who had stolen her heart 4 years ago in college. They'd met at a volunteer project building homes for displaced families, bonded over jazz music, and survived everything from job changes to car breakdowns. Emily's mother Diane had always been polite. That kind of sharp-edged polite where every smile came with a warning and every compliment had something tucked underneath. Her father Walter barely spoke to Marcus. And her brother James, he was the one who made jokes at dinners that weren't jokes at all. Still, Emily believed love would win. She believed people grew. She believed that the white Southern family who raised her would eventually see what she saw in Marcus. But as the wedding date approached, signs started appearing that something was very, very wrong. It started with the guest list. Names disappeared. Marcus's mother and cousins never got invitations. When he asked Emily's mom about it, she played innocent. Oh, maybe the post office messed up. Then the venue suddenly tried to double book. Emily, in tears, called and fought for their slot back. Turns out Diane had accidentally told them to cancel. The cake order got misplaced. The preacher suddenly wasn't available. The wedding planner Emily had hired quit last minute, saying, "I'm sorry, but your family is making this impossible." Still, Emily pushed forward. She wasn't going to let 1,000 little sabotages stop her from marrying the man she loved. But the straw that nearly broke her came a week before the wedding. She got a call from Marcus, shaken, quiet. "Babe, did your brother just tell me not to show up?" Emily froze. "What?" Marcus's voice cracked. "He said I wasn't welcome. Said it would be better for everyone if I bowed out. He said, your dad agrees." Emily drove straight to her parents' house, shaking with rage. "Why are you doing this?" she yelled. Her mother sipped tea like nothing was wrong. "Sweetheart, we just want what's best for you." "By ruining my wedding?" Her father stood in the background, arms crossed. "You think you know what love is, but you're young. You don't see how different you two really are." "Different?" Emily snapped. "What, because he's black?" Silence. The kind of silence that tells you everything you feared was true. Emily stormed out. Marcus offered to postpone. "Maybe we just do it small. Just us and our people." "Screw them." But Emily said no. "We're going through with this. I'm not going to let their hate rewrite our love story." The morning of the wedding arrived, and things only got worse. At the bridal suite, the makeup artist showed up late and told Emily, "Your mom said we should go for a more classic look." That classic look turned out to be pale foundation and almost no contouring, making Emily look ghostly. The dress arrived wrinkled. One of the bridesmaids swore she saw Diane trying to put something red in the washer with it the night before. Emily's brother James wasn't even hiding it anymore. He smirked through everything, whispering to the groomsmen, "Bet you $10 she bails." Meanwhile, Marcus was fighting his own battles. His tux had been tampered with, the buttons all cut loose. His cousin Ty had to sew it back together. The officiant was late. Again, Diane had tried to cancel last minute, but the officiant, a black woman named Reverend Carter, had seen right through the lies and made sure to come. The moment arrived. The guests filled the outdoor garden. The flowers were perfect, despite someone trying to accidentally redirect the delivery to another venue. Emily's friends and Marcus's family sat nervously. The music started. Emily walked down the aisle, stunning, glowing, trembling slightly. Marcus's eyes filled with tears. Despite it all, she was here. They were here. But then, it happened. Right as Reverend Carter began the ceremony, someone stood up. "Diane." "Stop," she said loudly, clearly. Gasps rippled through the audience. "This wedding cannot go on." Marcus looked at Emily. Emily stared at her mother, fury building. "Mom, sit down." But Diane wasn't done. She held up a document. This is a court injunction. This marriage can't be legally recognized. Marcus is under investigation." The words cut through the air like glass. Emily's world spun. "What are you talking about?" she demanded. "He's being investigated for fraud," Diane said. "He's not who he says he is." Murmurs exploded. Cameras clicked. People whispered. Emily turned to Marcus, who stood frozen, fists clenched. Marcus? He looked at her, then at Diane, and then did something no one expected. He smiled. Just a little. Then he reached into his pocket. Actually, Marcus said calmly, I was hoping you'd try something like this. That's why I brought backup. From behind the tent, two men stepped out. Suits. Badges. The crowd gasped again. Diane turned pale. Emily's father cursed under his breath. Agents? Someone whispered. Wait, what's happening? The taller agent spoke. Ma'am, I'd be very careful about the next lie you tell. Because we've been recording you for months. Diane staggered backward. What is this? She demanded. Marcus turned to the crowd. You want to know who I am? I'm not just a groom. I'm also the lead informant in an ongoing FBI investigation into hate crimes and systemic racism in this town. And guess whose names are on the list? Silence. Then chaos. Emily's jaw dropped. Her father stepped forward, yelling, You tricked us? But the agents were already moving. The wedding had just turned into a crime scene, and the bride had no idea what was coming next. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more powerful stories that uplift Black voices and expose hidden truths. The garden wedding had descended into stunned silence, guests frozen in disbelief as two FBI agents flanked the groom and faced the bride's white family. Emily stood motionless, still processing what Marcus had just revealed, that he had been working with the FBI to investigate hate crimes, and that her own family was implicated. Diane's lips quivered, and her eyes darted around like a cornered animal. Her father, Walter, was the first to recover, stepping forward with a rage-soaked voice. You people set us up? This is entrapment. One of the agents raised a calm hand. No, sir, this is justice. And we have the recordings to prove it. The other agent produced a small remote and tapped it. A speaker, hidden near the altar, crackled to life. Static gave way to a clear voice, Diane's. If we can make it look like he's been stealing from his job, they'll open a case. Then maybe she'll come to her senses. Emily gasped. It was her mother. No doubt. Her own mother was willing to falsely accuse Marcus of a crime, just to stop her daughter from marrying him. Another voice came on next. James. We get a cop friend to file a report. He don't need real evidence. Just get him flagged. No black guy with a record gets to walk down the aisle in a tux. Murmurs exploded from the guests. Some stood in protest. Others covered their mouths. A few, white neighbors, church friends, shuffled in awkward shame. Emily's legs nearly gave out, but Marcus gently held her elbow. Her entire body was shaking, but she looked at him with new eyes, eyes that had just seen the truth not only about him but about everything around her. Reverend Carter spoke, her voice shaking but powerful. This wedding was built on love. But clearly, others tried to destroy it with hate. And now the light is shining on all of it. Diane lunged toward the speaker, trying to rip it out of the ground. An agent blocked her. Mrs. Morgan, don't make it worse. You're already on record admitting to orchestrating false allegations, and that's just the beginning. Walter shouted, You think you can ruin a family like this? You think you can humiliate us? Marcus stepped forward, face calm, voice low. You humiliated yourselves. You tried to destroy your daughter's happiness because of the color of my skin. You broke the law and tried to ruin lives. That's not love. That's evil. Diane turned to Emily, her voice trembling, desperate now. Sweetheart, please. We were trying to protect you. Emily stepped back. From what? A man who loves me more than you ever taught me to love myself? A man who fought for the truth while you plotted lies. Her voice cracked but didn't break. You didn't protect me. You tried to control me. And now you're exposed. The agents moved toward Diane and Walter. We're not making arrests today, one said. But we will be requesting interviews immediately. I'd recommend you come voluntarily. James tried to sneak away but Ty, Marcus's cousin, intercepted him. Nah man. You stay. You had plenty to say earlier, right? James tried to laugh it off. This is all a misunderstanding, but no one was buying it. Guests began walking out. A few clapped for Marcus. Others pulled Emily aside, whispering apologies or shaking their heads in disbelief. The wedding was ruined, or so it seemed. But Reverend Carter took the mic again and said, Everyone who's still here to celebrate love, real love, you're welcome to stay. We don't need a perfect wedding. We just need a true one. Emily looked at Marcus, tears finally falling. Why didn't you tell me? Marcus exhaled. I didn't want you caught in the middle. I started helping the FBI when I saw how many black men in this town were getting railroaded. When I realized some of the patterns led to people close to you, I didn't know what to do. But I knew I couldn't let it keep happening. Emily reached up and touched his cheek. You risked everything for others. For the truth. For us, he corrected. I wasn't going to let them win. Guests who remained began forming a circle. Someone started playing soft music from their phone. Chairs were rearranged. The aisle was reset. Reverend Carter looked at them both. Shall we? Emily nodded. Her heart was bruised, but her spirit stood taller than ever. She looked at the ruins of the old fantasy, then at the real, raw beauty standing before her. Let's get married, she whispered. And just as the ceremony was about to begin again, a new sound filled the air. Sirens. 2 police cruisers rolled into the garden. The agents tensed. Emily's heart jumped. Marcus turned sharply. An officer stepped out, one Emily recognized. Officer Braddock. One of her father's old friends. The one who used to joke about how he'd run certain folks out of town. He walked straight up to the agents. We need to speak with Mr. Bell. The agents blocked him. He's under federal protection. Braddock sneered. He's also under local suspicion. A warrant just came through. He turned to Marcus. You're coming with us. Now. Gasps again. Emily yelled, No. You can't do this. Marcus looked to the agents, but even they looked uncertain. What are you talking about? Marcus asked. Braddock smirked. You think you're the only one with surprises? He pulled out a manila folder, held it up. This isn't over. Not by a long shot. Emily screamed, This is a setup. But the officers grabbed Marcus's arms. Ty lunged, but another cop shoved him back. Don't resist or you're next. Marcus didn't fight. But he looked at Emily, one last time, as the officers dragged him away in front of everyone. The FBI agents barked into radios. The wedding collapsed into panic. The groom was gone. The bride was screaming. The family of hate had launched one final attack. And what they didn't know was that Marcus had one more move left, and it was going to change everything. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more powerful stories that uplift black voices and expose hidden truths. Emily stood frozen in her torn veil and ruined mascara, watching the love of her life get shoved into the back of a police cruiser by 2 smirking officers, one of whom, Officer Braddock, was known for harassing black men on the South Side and calling it community control. The guests, horrified, tried to record the arrest, but another officer barked, No filming, and began knocking phones out of hands. The FBI agents were livid, barking orders into radios, clearly caught off guard by this so-called local warrant, and Emily's fists were clenched so tightly her knuckles turned white. Reverend Carter tried to comfort her, but Emily shoved past everyone, running barefoot across the grass to the curb, screaming, Marcus! Don't let them do this to you. From inside the cruiser, Marcus's eyes locked with hers, calm despite the storm, and through the window he mouthed, I love you. And then the door slammed. Tires screeched. They were gone. The wedding had shattered, again. But Emily didn't collapse. Not this time. Something in her snapped into focus. She turned, staring at the FBI agents. Where are they taking him? Agent Daniels shook his head, furious. We don't know. They bypassed the system. Someone high up authorized this. That warrant wasn't in our database 30 seconds ago. Agent Morales added, This smells like corruption at the deepest level. Someone's pulling strings. Emily stared at her parents, who stood in the background now, smug and satisfied. Her mother sipped champagne from someone else's glass, and her father lit a cigar. You did this, Emily hissed. Diane shrugged, eyes empty. Actions have consequences, sweetheart. Maybe next time you'll choose someone more appropriate. Emily walked straight up to her and slapped the glass out of her hand. You're not a mother. You're a monster. Walter stepped forward, but Ty and 2 other cousins got between them. Nah, stay where you are, Ty warned. You've done enough damage. Emily turned to the agents. What do we do? Agent Daniels looked her in the eye. We're going to find out who issued that warrant and we're going to rip them out of the system. But we need time. Time? Emily snapped. He could be dead by then. He won't be, Agent Morales said. Marcus planned for this. He told us if anything happened, if he disappeared, he left a contingency. What kind of contingency? Emily asked. The agent pulled a card from her jacket and handed it over. On it was a name, Ava Sinclair, a woman Emily had never heard of. Who is she? Morales replied. She's an investigative reporter. Marcus gave her everything. Every file, every tape, every recording he had. If we can't get him out through the courts, she can get him out through the truth. Emily's hands trembled as she took the card. Where is she? Morales looked around, then leaned in. He told her to meet him if anything went wrong. There's a location scribbled on the back of the card. Emily turned it over. It was a gas station address, just outside of town. You need to go, Daniel said. We'll buy you time. But be careful. If your family pulled strings in the police department, they might be watching her too. Emily nodded. I'm going. I'm not sitting still while he rots in some cell for something he didn't do. She turned to her bridesmaids. Forget the wedding. We have a rescue mission. Ty stepped forward. You're not going alone. We're all coming, said one of Marcus's cousins. Another groomsman added, we ride together. Emily's college friend Deja tossed off her heels. Girl, I've been ready to fight since your mom called me your urban phase. Let's go. In minutes, a 4-car convoy formed. Emily, still in her wedding dress, climbed into the front seat of Ty's truck. Her makeup was ruined, her hair undone, but her eyes were fire. They raced toward the gas station, hearts pounding, roads blurring. When they pulled up, the sun was dipping behind the trees, and standing next to a dusty payphone was a tall, caramel-skinned woman in jeans and a leather jacket. She turned as they approached. Emily Morgan? Ava Sinclair? Yeah. I figured you'd come. Emily wasted no time. Where's Marcus? Ava held up a flash drive. I've got the files. Everything. The recordings, the names, the money trails, the bribes. Enough to burn this town down twice over. But they're looking for me. I've had to move 3 times in 2 days. Emily grabbed her wrist. Please. He's been arrested. Taken by dirty cops. We need help. Ava nodded, grim. Then we're going to blow this wide open. But first, we have to make a trade. Emily blinked. A trade? Ava opened the back of her SUV and pulled out a laptop. She typed quickly, brought up a video feed. It was grainy but clear enough. A basement cell. Concrete walls. And Marcus, handcuffed to a pipe, bruised, sweating but alive. Emily gasped. Oh my God. Ava whispered, he's being held in an off-books precinct location. Not even on the map. But I traced the signal from this camera to their private network. I've hacked part of it, but I can't hold it forever. And I can't do it alone. What do you need? Ava turned to her. I need you to go public with the tapes. No. I need you to stand in front of a camera and call them out. The cops, your parents, everyone. If they know we're leaking, they might move Marcus, or worse. But if we go loud, real loud, it might scare them into backing off. Emily swallowed. Okay. Let's do it. Ava handed her a microphone and connected it to a live stream setup already in her trunk. We've got 10 minutes of signal. After that, they'll jam us. Emily stood before the camera, wind whipping her veil, and for the first time in her life, she wasn't a daughter or a bride or a victim. She was a warrior. She looked into the lens and said, My name is Emily Morgan and my family tried to destroy the man I love. The police arrested him today under false charges. The FBI was investigating my own family for hate crimes, and I have proof. I have everything. And if anything happens to Marcus Bell, I will burn every name involved into the light. She uploaded the files in real time. Social media notifications exploded. The stream went viral in minutes. Thousands watched. Then tens of thousands. Then hundreds of thousands. Hashtags trended. Hashtag free Marcus, hashtag wedding setup, hashtag expose the Morgans, and just as the final file uploaded, the screen glitched. The camera cut out. Ava cursed. They found us. We have to move. Suddenly, tires squealed in the distance. Headlights. Black vans with no license plates. 4 of them. Racing toward the gas station from both ends. Emily froze. Ava screamed, Run. Ty slammed the truck into reverse. But it was too late. The van skidded sideways, blocking both exits. Doors burst open. Armed men in black uniforms, no badges, stepped out, rifles raised. One of them shouted, "Get on the ground. Now." And then a red laser dot appeared on Emily's chest. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more powerful stories that uplift black voices and expose hidden truths. The red laser danced on Emily's chest, right over her heart, her ruined wedding dress flapping in the wind like a white flag that would never surrender. Ava screamed, "Get down!" and tackled her behind a fuel pump as the laser snapped off and bullets ripped through the air, sparks flying, metal popping, and the loud crack of suppression fire echoing across the abandoned gas station. Ty's truck window shattered, and one of Marcus's cousins returned fire from behind the hood with a pistol he had hidden in his suit jacket. "Who are these people?" someone yelled, but Emily already knew. These weren't ordinary cops. These weren't even legal authorities. They were mercs. Private. Off the books. Hired muscle. Hired to erase. The vans had no plates. The uniforms had no insignia. And the silence in their attack, it said one thing louder than words: they came to eliminate witnesses. Ava grabbed Emily's hand and dragged her toward the side of the gas station as bullets tore through the cement, Ava's laptop still tucked under her arm like it was sacred scripture. Emily's breath came in gasps, her lungs burning, dress torn, blood on her hands. Not hers, someone else's, maybe Deja's, who had fallen behind the car screaming. Ty was pinned behind his truck, empty clip in hand, screaming, "I need ammo." Emily looked around, dizzy, heart racing. She had never imagined her wedding would become a war zone, but here they were, and they were running out of time. Ava shoved her through a side door into the station's tiny storage room, slammed it shut, and barricaded it with metal shelving. "This won't hold for long," she said. "They're not here to arrest us. They're here to bury us." "Then we don't let them," Emily said through gritted teeth. "We go louder." Ava blinked. "What?" "There's a radio tower down the road," Emily said. "It's part of the town's emergency broadcast system. My dad used to run drills through it." Ava's eyes widened. "If we can jack the signal, we can send the files directly through national broadcast. Every radio, every emergency feed, every TV that still runs on analog. Not just a stream, an airwave burst." Ava nodded slowly. "We'll be targets the second we step out." Emily stood up. "We already are." Ty burst through the door, bleeding from the arm. "They're regrouping. We've got 30 seconds maybe?" "We're going for the tower," Ava said. "We need cover." Ty nodded. "I'll get you there." "You're hurt." "Don't care," he snapped. "Marcus is my blood." Outside, the firefight was shifting. The men in black were surrounding them. A drone buzzed above, scanning infrared. Ava shut off every wireless device. "They're using heat signatures. We need to move." The group made a break for the side alley, crawling under debris and through a drainage ditch as bullets thudded nearby. Emily's dress ripped completely, her legs scraped and bruised, but her grip on Ava's flash drive never wavered. When they finally reached the base of the broadcast tower, a rusted 80-foot metal relic fenced off in weeds, Ava climbed like she'd done it before. Emily followed, hands trembling. Ty and another cousin stayed behind to hold the perimeter. Inside the small tower hut, Ava plugged the laptop into the relay system. 5 minutes to hijack the frequency. "I need a signal boost." Emily found the manual override, typing codes her father used to drill into her head. Ava paused. "You okay?" Emily stared at the screen. "No. But I'm focused." "Good," Ava muttered. "Because if we get this out, your family won't just lose their grip on this town, they're going to prison." Emily didn't even flinch. "Let them rot." Suddenly the feed buzzed. "We're in," Ava said. "Uploading files now. Oh my God. It's working. It's broadcasting." And across the town, the emergency systems lit up. Old TVs blinked to life in diners. Radios interrupted church services. Smartphones buzzed with the emergency tone, then cut to static, and then to Marcus's voice recorded months earlier. "If you're hearing this, I've been taken. But I left a record of everything they've done. They tried to silence me, but the truth doesn't die. It rises." Then came the recordings. The threats. The bribery. The sheriff laughing about planting evidence. Walter's voice arranging fake complaints. Diane's voice coaching a young woman to lie about being harassed by Marcus. The town heard everything. Everyone did. Some cried. Some screamed. Some fell to their knees in shame. But up on that tower, Emily and Ava had no time to celebrate. Because just as the final upload hit 100%, Ava looked out the window and went pale. They're here. Black vans screeched into the clearing. No warning. No negotiation. Just bullets. One round tore through the side of the hut, hitting Ava in the leg. She collapsed screaming. "Gio," she cried. "Take the drive. Go." Emily grabbed it, eyes wide, panic surging, but she didn't run. She grabbed Ava, yanked her up, and they limped toward the back exit. Just as the hut exploded behind them, fireball ripping through the base of the tower. The blast threw them forward. Emily blacked out for half a second, but woke to Ty dragging her behind a car. Ava was unconscious. Emily clutched the flash drive like it was her heartbeat. "Is it out?" she shouted. Ty was covered in ash. "It's out. The whole damn country's watching." But as they looked down the hill, a final black SUV pulled up, and from the back seat stepped someone Emily didn't expect. Her brother James. And next to him, Officer Braddock. But this time Braddock wasn't giving orders. He was taking them. James had a phone in his hand and a smirk on his face. He looked straight toward Emily, raised the phone, and said loud enough to hear through the smoke, "We have Marcus. And if you don't turn yourself in, he dies tonight." Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more powerful stories that uplift Black voices and expose hidden truths. Smoke curled into the evening sky as Emily stared down the hill, blood smeared across her torn wedding dress, eyes locked on her brother James, standing smugly next to Officer Braddock. Behind them, the SUV idled, and she could just barely see the silhouette of someone slumped in the back seat. Marcus. Hands tied. Head down. Still alive but not for long. James raised the phone again, pressing a button. A voice, clearly recorded, boomed through a small speaker. "If that little traitor bride of yours doesn't give up the drive, you end it. We'll say he resisted." It was Diane's voice. Their mother. Cold. Calculating. Emily's hand clenched the flash drive so hard it nearly cracked. Ava groaned behind her, still conscious but fading. Ty crouched beside them, gripping a broken piece of metal like a blade. "We can't just sit here," he growled. "We've got nothing left." "Yes we do," Emily said, fire rising in her chest. "We've got the truth. And we've got me." "Emily, no," Ty tried to stop her. "You go down there and they'll kill you both." "Then I take that chance," she said. "Because if I don't, he dies anyway." Before anyone could stop her, she stood, limping, bleeding, veil dragging behind her like a war banner, and walked out into the clearing. The air fell silent. Braddock raised his weapon. James held up a hand. "Let her talk." "You're out of options," James called out, voice smug. "Turn over the drive and walk away. We'll let you live. We'll make Marcus disappear clean. No body. No investigation." Emily laughed, a hollow, wild sound. "You still don't get it? The drive's already out. It's already been broadcast. Your threats are useless." "Doesn't matter," James replied coldly. "We can still make an example out of you. You and your so-called husband." "Then do it," Emily said. "Shoot me. Kill me. Let the whole world watch you murder a woman on her wedding day just because she dared to love someone you couldn't control." Cameras clicked in the distance. Reporters had started to arrive, alerted by the viral emergency broadcast. Drones hovered overhead. Live streams were rolling. The whole world was watching. Braddock hesitated. James noticed. "What are you doing?" James snapped. "End this." But Braddock, sweating now, lowered his weapon slightly. "We're being recorded." "Then pull the trigger," Emily challenged. "Show them what hate really looks like." James panicked. He lunged for Braddock's gun. "I said do it." But in the scuffle the gun went off, bang, and hit James in the shoulder. He collapsed screaming. The crowd surged forward. Ty and two of Marcus's cousins stormed the SUV, yanked open the doors and pulled Marcus free. Braddock tried to run, but federal agents were already swarming in, drawn by the broadcast and Ava's emergency signal. He was tackled to the ground. James was cuffed. Diane was caught trying to board a private jet hours later. Walter was already under investigation. It was over. The corrupt family that had tried to sabotage love with lies, violence, and racism had been fully exposed, and now justice had found them. Emily ran to Marcus, falling into his arms. He was weak but smiling. "You came for me," he whispered. "Always," she said. "Always." The agents helped Ava into an ambulance. The tower broadcast was replayed on every major network that night. Headlines read, "Bride exposes corrupt family and police in viral broadcast. Groom freed after kidnapping." Community members rallied. Investigations began. The town would never be the same. Weeks later, Emily and Marcus stood in front of a small courthouse surrounded by real friends, chosen family, and strangers who'd become allies. No big wedding. No dress. Just truth and love. They exchanged vows, and this time, nothing interrupted them. Love is not just a feeling, it is a fight. A fight against ignorance, hate, and the systems that try to divide us. Sometimes the people closest to us carry the deepest prejudice, hiding behind tradition and control. But when we stand up, when we speak truth in the face of power, love becomes a revolution. Emily and Marcus proved that love doesn't fold under pressure. It rises again and again until the world has no choice but to change. The end. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more powerful stories that uplift Black voices and expose hidden truths.